Welcome back to Kerfuffle Kitchen, where things are just as confusing as they're supposed to be. Anyway, like I said before, today's all about breakfast, which is going to showcase my pre-roasted. Would you just get out of wrapping? My pre-roasted bacon. It's all about bacon. Just because you like bacon doesn't mean you gotta settle for those high bacon prices. In fact, on keto, it's actually terrible for you to have bacon straight from the store, especially because some stores like to hide the nitrates. Anyway, let's get a closer look at my buddy Bacon. As you can see, he is nicely marbled. There's the meat, there's some more meat, and there's all the fat right there. And then I got a nice crispy, well, actually it's not so crispy anymore. When I did take it out there, it was really crispy. But we're going to make it crispy today because I'm going to cook it a little more. I like to cook my pork belly through, so when I heat it up, it gets nice and crispy and it's still chewy. I wanted to just make sure y'all can see when I cut this guy. Oh, wrong way. Oh, wrong way again. There we go. See, I like to cut my bacon a little thick because who doesn't like thick? But yeah, so we're going to slice this guy up. You can slice it all the way if you want and just make it the portion. This was 4 pieces of pork belly at one point, but you know, in order to manage it, you gotta make sacrifices. Those sacrifices tend to be for the greater good. Anyway, I like to cut it all up at once and store it. You can do what you like. The seasoning on top of it is, let's see, black pepper, cayenne pepper. I like it a little spicy. Salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and I just basically do a dry rub, slow roast it for about 45 minutes. It also has powdered because I don't like so much the whole stuff because it tends to be a little clumpy inside the mix. But powdered ethereal to give it a little bit of sweetness. And then finally, if I want it smoked, I do liquid smoke. However, if you have your own smoker, I recommend that. It's even better. So here we go. Almost done cutting this guy up. You know, this is actually my average breakfast. I have my home-cooked bacon along with some eggs. And I'm going to show you how I make my eggs because my eggs are are delicious. There we go. Okay. So we're going to put this guy away because, you know. Okay, we have a mound of bacon. Now for my eggs. I'm a big fan of Irish cheeses and Irish butters. For one, they're a little bit more high quality, and for two, they are delicious. I don't know why people don't like them. Anyway, how I make my eggs is, well, very simple. First, I make sure, and then I include my cheese and my butter, which is the best part about these eggs because you're not going to need salt, just a little pepper. Because the butter's salted and then the cheese is salted, so you don't need that much salt. And you want to make sure when you are making eggs that you don't season them with salt in the beginning. It's just going to make your eggs taste really salty and it's not going to get them creamy. I personally love a creamy scrambled egg. And I'm trying to look for my crushed pepper inside of my cabinet, but I can't seem to find it because it's right in front of me. Pepper. Use sprigs this. Also, if you're on keto, if you're not on keto, I mean, don't worry about it. But if you're on keto, I would say the best thing for your eggs-wise is to make sure you take a little bit of egg whites out. You want mostly the good fat. Egg whites are more, I guess, no fat item. They're also more inflammatory, so that way, if you're eating them, your body will swell up a little, which adds weight to you. Okie doke. So I put the butter there, because I don't need the butter right now. That's going to go in the pan to grease it a little bit and give the eggs a little bit more creaminess. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stir up my eggs first. Make sure that pepper's in there. That way it has a little bit of time to settle. And now time to cut this because I forgot to before. Like I said, it's my kitchen. I do what I want. Okay. So I got my brick of cheddar. I prefer cheddar in my eggs just because, you know, it adds a nice saltiness. It's nice and melty, but not too high of a melting point. Okay. So this is how I do my eggs. You guys don't have to listen to me. This is just how I personally do mine. I like to shred a little bit of cheese in there, and I do a fine shred, so therefore I get the nice meltiness of the cheese going. And I do like maybe about an ounce. If you're feeling like you love cheese, maybe 2 ounces. But I usually try to stick with an ounce. That way it just stays creamy. It doesn't take too much away from the eggs. But like I said, if you love cheese, go right ahead. Okay, so I got all the preparatory items out of the way. We're just going to put this away. Wash the fingers. Grab Mr. Spatula, which is actually behind me. So we're going to come over here. And we're going to start cooking. And so I will be back with the finished result. Okay, so I know I said end result, but I figure I should give you guys some more tips about how to cook my eggs while I do it. That way there's no confusion. Okay, so first of all, get the butter in the pan. Make sure it's nice and melted. When the butter's melted, we're going to have a good day. Nothing will really stick. You want to start it off on a high heat so the butter melts a little quicker. But then once the butter's melted, you want to go to a medium heat, maybe medium high. But anyway, just make sure the butter's all melty, because that is the best part of step one, is melted butter. Because, you know, in keto, you're always looking for good fats. And Irish butter actually has a lot more fat content, I guess you could say, in it than other butters, like American butter. No offense, I live here, so it's like, I get it. Anyway, oh God, what the heck was that? I don't know. Things just like to scare the dickens out of me. It just scares the dickens out of me. Anyway, waiting for this to happen. Yes. All right. So just gonna make sure my butter's all melted. Butter melted. Butter's always better melted. I have to agree there. Because candy is dandy, but butter is good for the soul. Okay, so my butter's now about melted. There's some little clumps in there, but they're melting as we go. Okay, my heat's on high. I'm going to pour my eggs in. And then once they start to, I guess, cook up a little, you want to switch it to a medium and constantly kind of stir. That way the cheese has a chance to melt a little bit. The eggs have a chance to cook at uneven temperatures. That way they don't overcook, but they don't undercook, and you get a nice, moist scramble. I'm going to need my plate for this. It's always good to have a plate nearby. And then the bacon comes next. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just cook the eggs in bacon grease? Because that's too much oil. And it doesn't add any real, I guess, like creaminess to the egg. I like creamy eggs. If you like salty or oily eggs, you can use bacon. Personally, I don't recommend it, but you do what you want to do. Okay, so we're going to add the eggs in. I don't know why they're not cooking. Oh, it's because I turned off my burner for some reason. That makes a lot of sense. That might be why My eggs weren't cooking just now. Now, don't make that mistake. Make sure your burner's on, and when you turn it on high, you don't accidentally turn it off. Because that's bad. Oh. Whoa, I'm missing some egg here. What's happening? I am off my game today. Making breakfast for the masses. Masses, asses, as quick as molasses. Okay. So like I said, you want to constantly stir. You want to incorporate that melted butter into your eggs as fast as possible. That way you're going to get a nice creaminess going, and then the cheese has a chance to melt, and then everything's just going to come into one big cohesive goodness. Like, if you want to see it, I will hold up the camera, but otherwise I'm going to try to mix it as quick as possible, turn down my heat. You probably can hear my stuff in the background. Me scraping the pan, making sure the egg does not stick. I know I have butter in it, but you know, sometimes even non-sticks want to make sure that you stick. Okay, come on. Ooh, I can smell that cheese melting right now. It smells delicious. Holy crag. Okay, turn back up to high. As you can see, the eggs are starting to form, a nice scramble. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. That's what I like to see right there. Don't know why. It just happens. Accents come to me. Make sure it's nice and spread out for this next step. After it's basically par cooked, you want to let it sit for just a minute. Turn down the heat as it's coming down. And then, once you start to see it turn white all around the little edges right over here, you're right, you know what? Let's get that going. Like right over here, and as it kind of oozes, it can, you know, cook as it oozes, that's fine. And then you want to just kind of start breaking it up again. Because when you let it sit for too long, the cheese starts to take over. And you don't want the cheese to take over because then it's going to get all crusty on your pan. And then you're not going to have creamy eggs. You're just going to have like weird, creamy and like salty eggs. Anyway, here we go. And these are done. Yeah, these are done. I'm going to move this into my plate now. Oh my goodness. I love it when it slides out just like that. Okay, and like I said, I am a man of conservation. So instead of washing this pan, I'm going to put my bacon in it. Because you know what? Why not? Here we go, bacon time. Ooh, sizzle, sizzle, y'all. Got a nice sizzle going. And if you like crispy bacon, like almost like super crispy, because I'm a big crispy chewy guy, so I like the best of both worlds. So I like to cut it a little thick. Like I said, we don't like thick. But if you want to, you can cut it a little thinner. I recommend though your bacon in the fridge and or freezer before anything, because it's got to be nice and firm before you cut it, or else it's just gonna fall apart. Okie dokie, I'm back again. Not really. Okay, finally really back. So, I've got my bacon cooking. I got my tongs. Now the thing about this bacon is it's going to take a little while to cook, so I'll come back when it's done. While the bacon's finishing up, I just wanted to add a little bit of tidbit. I am a person that, of course I'm a person, no, but I am a guy who, of course he's a guy, who likes to do stuff, a lot of stuff by hand and some stuff from scratch. So I got a spice cabinet right here. See, it's completely full. And so I like to make my own spices. That's how I made this rub for this stuff. Ooh, look at that crispiness. Oh. And so I just like to make sure that if you do your own rubs, might as well do them yourself. I mean, that way you can be accountable for what's in it. You don't have any like anti-caking properties, which is like dextrose and some stuff like that, which is actually really bad for you. Not just on keto, just in general. Okie dokie. We're gonna plate my bacon. And, ooh, it looks so nice. If only you could see this. It looks so good. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, finished product. You can hear still it's sizzling, see? Anyway, finished product. Bacon and eggs with cheese, my own house-made bacon. If you guys want any more videos, let me know. I have a bunch more that I'm going to post sooner or later. And it'll just include me cooking the best I can for y'all because, you know, I'm not a trained chef, but I do cook a lot. So my tips are mostly just trial and error, which is why I do Kerfuffle Kitchen. All about confusion to you.